Bob Delahey has made a unique contribution to hockey and lacrosse in Peterborough as a player, dedicated trainer, administrator, coach, referee, and volunteer for more than 40 years. Born in Peterborough in 1935, Bob grew up playing lacrosse and hockey. As a trainer, never lost his competitive edge. He was a trainer of the 1961 Minto Cup champion Hastings Legionnaires lacrosse team, and in 1963 became its head coach. He served as president, vice president, and chief trainer on 11 Peterborough senior lacrosse teams, 2 of these teams winning the Mann Cup. In 1968, Chubb, as he was affectionately known, was given the head trainer's position with Canada's National Lacrosse Club. He held this same position for 2 years, 1973 and 75, with the Maryland Arrows of the Professional National Lacrosse League. Bob was one of a group of 8 local lacrosse enthusiasts who brought lacrosse back to Peterborough in 1964. From 1966 to 1973, Bob was a trainer for the Peterborough TPT Major Junior A Pete's Hockey Club and also assisted with the Trent University team for several years. He also refereed minor hockey and coached junior lacrosse for many years. One of Bob's most significant accomplishments has been 44 consecutive years as a volunteer at the highly successful Peterborough Liftlock Atom Hockey Tournament. A local sports writer aptly described Bob Delahey as an institution on the Peterborough sporting scene, and you've done it all.
I've done quite a bit of it.
Well, when we go through that, it really puts everything into that one short paragraph of probably 200-300 words. And then what sticks out to you the most?
Well, I love lacrosse, and I still do. I've got season tickets for the last few years when Teddy Hickens has owned the club. He bought it from us, I've quit the training end of it because I've got what they call neuropathy, and it seizes your hips up, and I just can't walk. If I got up and took 2 steps, I'd be on the floor. But anyway, I think I like lacrosse better than I do hockey now, because it's more active, it's more checking, it's good hard hitting.
Yeah. And the game hasn't changed in terms of the intensity.
No,
yeah.
it hasn't changed, that's right. But I'll go back to hockey. When I first started playing hockey, I was, I'll tell you, it's quite a story. I had no skates of my own. I used my sister's. And I used my mother's Eaton's and Sears catalogs for shin pads. And I played goal up at in front of the PCVS. They had an open air rink like there. And I played goal and somehow or other, Snowball Watkins and Eddie Woodcock were the coach, and Albert Watkins, we used to always call him Snowball, and he was the manager. They got wind that I played goal, and I guess I wasn't too bad. And they phoned my house one night, and my dad, this is where my dad was behind me, he said, would your son be interested in playing goal for us? They need the goaltender, the outboard team. And my dad said, well, just a minute, he's right here, I'll see what he says. And my dad asked me, and I said, oh God, yeah. I said, that way I'll have a set of goal pads. I said, I won't have to put the Sears and catalogs in. And so I went out with them, and we went to the Ontario Championship, but I didn't play in the Ontario Championship that year. I was a goaltender, and we were playing Midland, And I never wore shoulder
As
pads.
a goalie, you never wore shoulder pads?
Never wore shoulder pads, never wore a mask, never wore anything like that because I was too bulky with the shoulder pads. All I wore is elbow pads if I fell, you know.
Does it seem strange to say that a goalie was too bulky when he was wearing equipment now?
Well, not now, they're not.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them for wearing shoulder pads now because the shots are a lot harder. But anyway, I made a save against Midland, and Bobby McCormick, my defenseman, he was right in front of me, and he said, "I got it." He had it all right. As soon as he got to him, he opened his legs and hit me right in the cheekbone and cracked my cheekbone right around here. And that's the only injury I ever had playing goal. And I couldn't play in any more games. Was done for the year. And Albert Watkins, I blame him. We would have won the championship, Ontario championship, for all of Ontario if he had listened to Father Coughlin. He offered him Joe O'Brien, who was a goaltender for St. Peter's. He said, "Do you want Joe?" He said, "Oh no." He said, "We're going to put Murray in goal." Murray was our best defenseman. Why would you put your best defenseman in goal when you can pick up another goaltender?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what happened. We lost the championship. But I went on, and I played the next year at Bantam, and we didn't go too far. We beat Midland out, and we had another series to go. And then I went up to midget. I played 1 year midget, and Doug Mortimer came to us, and there was 5 of us. All went up to junior B, and Albert was just furious from the Bantam, or from the outboard team. We all went up and played junior B, and he got a rule put in the OMHA that you must get a release
Yeah.
from the team before you can go up. And he got that rule put in, and that's the way it is now. But I played 4 years junior B, and then the junior A's come into Peterborough, and of course they brought in a lot of players from Montreal and what have you.
Yeah.
But
you won an Ontario championship at junior B, or a Central Ontario championship.
yeah.
And so going through that season, you've only got hurt one time playing goalie with no face mask.
Only one time playing goal.
Did that change the way you played goalie after you did take that puck in the face?
Well, not really. I always figured if a goaltender's got a good trapper and he can catch, which I caught in ball, you didn't need a mask. No, I know they come out with a mask, but it was a fiberglass one.
Yeah.
And they came out with that in Montreal, and there was one shot right in the center of the fiberglass, and it split, and it got rid of that.
And that was see-through? Like it was all clear?
No, that was in Montreal. That happened.
It's like Jacques Plante, his mask.
Before just Jacques Plante's, just in his day, and he made his own mask.
Yeah.
And it was really terrific. Like he really covered the face. But this other one was plastic, and it cracked.
Yeah.
And they got rid of that pretty quick.
You don't want the shards and shrapnel on your face.
No, that's for sure. But I never wore a mask. I couldn't. I don't know. I just couldn't visualize me wearing a mask because I never did wear it. So, but and I never wore the shoulder pads either.
So, what was the style for when you're playing goalie? It was. Just describe what your mentality was as a rush was coming up the ice. What are you thinking as a goalie in that era?
Well, what was I thinking of?
Yeah.
Well, if you got a shot, stop it, or catch it, or whatever the case may be, or use my blocker to, or the pads, or throw. I had a habit of when the a chap was coming in on me, especially on the breakaway, I'd throw the pads to the left, to the right, whatever the case
Stack
may
the
be.
pads?
Pardon?
You'd stack the pads?
They're
Yeah.
stacked like that, and I would throw them one way or another. And 99% of the time, if he didn't raise it, I stopped it. You know, so I had a good year, a good time, and a good 4 years in junior B, and I had 3 years with the outboard club, which was good too.
What was coaching like of goalies? What sort of coaching did you receive?
What coaching to do goalie?
Yeah, like what would now goalies are so regimented in how they're supposed to play their position. Did you receive any coaching, or was it all instinct?
It was all instinct.
Yeah.
No, nobody showed me how to play goal. My dad was a good. He was a good hockey player in his day, and but he played defense, and but he didn't. He never played goal, so nobody showed me. The only thing that helped me was when I used to take my mother's magazines for up at PCVS.
Now the 3 Man Cup championships.
Pardon?
The 3 Man Cup championship teams you're a part of.
Yeah.
Tell me about them. About the journeys to the championships. About the 3 times that you were able to win a championship with the Lakers. Just what was that like? I'm assuming you had to go out west at least once.
We went out west once and won it, and we won it twice here. And the manager of the rink at the time, we won the championship here that night in '66, I think it was, and I just left everything, all the lacrosse stuff.
Yeah.
We were going to go and have a party, which we did. I come down the next day, dressing room was all cleaned out, and down come the manager, and he said, "Your dressing room's all ready for the hockey tonight." I said, "Well, that's what I'm here for." He said, "It's all done." He said, "Your equipment for the lacrosse is down that back room." He said, "You can go down and dry it or do what you want with it." So I said, "Okay, fine." But the manager of the rink here at the time was just a sneaky guy that would just go around the corner if he could stab you in the back.
Yeah.
That's what he was like, and he's from Marmor originally. That's where my wife was from, farm back there. But anyway, I said, "Well, thanks very much." I said, "You done a good job," and then laughed at him, so I didn't have to clean up the room.
Yeah. Well, you were coming back to do it, I guess.
I was coming
on that night. It was kind of understandable.
Well, it was it was no way I was going to do it that night.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't going to come back after having a few drinks.
No.
Because and I didn't go to work that night. I was on midnight. I phoned in sick. But and my boss, Mickey Donahue, he said, "Yeah, you're sick, all right." He said, "You're out partying." He said, "You just won the championship." I said, "Yes, we did, Mickey." Well, he said, "Have a good time."
Good.
So that's how it was left.
Yeah, I'd imagine it was a big moment for Peterborough.
Oh,
yeah.
I guess it was. Yeah, that's for sure. But I still like lacrosse. Hockey's all right, but lacrosse is better.
Compare winning the championship on the road versus winning it at home.
Well, we had quite a party out west.
Yes, that's a trend.
Yeah, but the OLA and CLA, once the game's over, you're on the plane the next day to come home. It don't matter win or lose. And we were out partying that night, and we had to catch the plane the next morning.
Oof.
So, but it wasn't until I think it was around 11 o'clock we had to get on the plane. So it wasn't too bad. But It it was just as nice to win out there as it was here, really.
Now, back then, it's so easy to, when the Lakers last won out west, it's so easy to get even a feed of the game. You can find a way to see the game or hear the game, or there are people taking pictures. How was that broadcasted back to Peterborough?
Johnny Danko was I checks TV and radio.
He's got his picture in the Hall of Fame with a cigar.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's him, and he just was on radio. There wasn't no TV to broadcast back, but it was a radio broadcast. But I watched the last. My grandson hooked it up for me on our TV in the bedroom. I watched the last Man Cup championship of the Lakers out west. What, a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was good and clear, and the pictures were good. We've seen everything, and they interviewed a couple of the players after, and it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but lacrosse is still my favorite game.
Why is that?
Well, there's more action in it, and the ball, if it hits you, you know it, because it's solid.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's a faster game and a trickier game, I think, than hockey is. Like the shots, backhand, and I don't know.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's really good. Larry Ferguson, he's passed away just recently, but his underhand shot, he could score pretty near every time. He just put that far off the floor, and he'd beat a goaltender every time.
Yeah. It's difficult to, I guess, see where it's coming from when it's the rising or rising ball.
There's a right and a left-hand stick. Like if you shot right.
Yeah. Well, there used to be.
Pardon?
There used to be a right and left-hand stick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I've got a little miniature one. It was given to me by a lad who used to make sticks in Brantford. We used to go down there. Jack, when I was trainer, Jack was the manager. We used to go down there, buy sticks from Martin, and he gave me. He said, "You want a couple of amateur sticks?" And I said, "Well, I wouldn't mind." And then I had them at the house for a long time, and one's right and one's left, and they're on the wall down in the lacrosse, and they're marked, and his name's there too.
Okay.
So.
And you were one of the founding members of the Hall of Fame, right? You're one of the founding members of the Peterborough Sports Hall of Fame here, or Peterborough District Sports Hall of Fame, and you're still on the board. Take me through the process of getting this thing off the ground and launching the Hall of Fame.
Well, Neil Thompson and a chap to come from Toronto, I can't think of it, Ed Carpenter, and Bobby, it's Bob lad. They called a meeting of 4 or 5 people and said, we should have a Hall of Fame. And they started it, and I come in, I guess Jack asked me to come down. He was the president at the time, and that's his picture over there. And he asked me to come down. Did I want to help out in the Hall of Fame? I said sure. I was retired from work, and then I had a heart problem. And anyway, I come down and I started giving him a hand. But we didn't have, where the kitchen is down there, was the end of the building, our building, and we come in from the outside, a little door like this, and that's where we had our coffee break. That's where we had our storage and everything. And this wasn't built on up here. Our office was right here in this area.
So that was after the expansion of the PMC?
Pardon?
That was after the PMC expansion?
Yeah,
Okay, in 2004-ish, I believe?
I think so. That's when
Yeah.
they built this, the front part here, and extended the back.
Okay.
And then of course we had a table down there to have coffee breaks, and we have a kitchen now and everything down the back end. And you know, it's expanded really well, and of course we have more stuff to put in.
Yeah.
People bringing stuff in.
What do you talk about the most at the coffee table at the back?
How many?
What do you talk about the most? What comes up?
Oh, pretty well anything. You know, what we did or what we're going to do and what have you.
Yeah, do people talk a lot about their sports histories and about what they went through, or does everybody?
No. Well, I don't think. I've
Yeah.
never.
Yeah.
But unless Paul asks me questions.
Mm-hmm. It's more so everybody already knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do they refer to you by your nickname, Chubb?
Not in here.
No.
Some do. Billy Armour does,
Okay.
because he played lacrosse when I was trainer.
And
We won the championship down in Hastings.
where'd the nickname come from?
Well, I think it was Ramsey's wife. She's the one, Jack Gibson's daughter. She's the one that named me Chubb. Dougie Gibson's sister.
Okay.
And of course, then it got down into the hockey, and that's what I was called around the hockey more than I did around lacrosse. And she's the one that named me Chubb.
It just stuck with you.
It did.
No.
It did.
Do you like the name? You don't mind it?
I don't care. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
They're talking to me. They're not talking to anybody else.
Yeah.
You know, they're not criticizing anybody else, I guess, if you want to put it that way. But lacrosse is still my favorite game.
Is that now? If you look back on it all, we're winding down here. But what would you want your legacy to be in Peterborough sports? What do you want your legacy to be?
Oh God, I don't know. I have no idea.
Do you know what you think it is? What other people think your legacy would be? Like, what would they say about Bob Delahey?
What some of them would say?
Yeah, sure.
No way.
Affectionately.
Yeah. No, they, well, some call me a good trainer. Johnny Davis said I'm the best trainer he ever had. Joey Todd said the same thing. And which I really like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I got along with everybody in lacrosse, and I got along with everybody on hockey too, but
Except for the head referee.
except the head referee.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he suspended me here in Peterborough.
Yeah.
But I got all I wanted down east with Billy Mulholland, and Doug Patterson, the OMHA fella down there, is the one that got me refereeing down that way.
Mm-hmm.
And Mulholland was a bank manager in Campbellford, and he said, "Why don't you get Delahey down here? Because I understand Watkins is suspended up around Peterborough." So that's how I got down in down that way, refereeing.
So a good trainer, a good referee, and a guy who just loves sports. Would that sum it up for you?
Yes, I love sports, all sports, but lacrosse is first.
Your sons, do they take it the same way?
Well, my oldest son, he played lacrosse and a bit of hockey, and my youngest son, he played hockey in church league, and also he played a bit of lacrosse, not too much, but he packed it in. He started selling cars. Well, he started working at Bill Story Pontiac Buick, cleaning up cars, and anyway, he went into the parts department, and then the next thing he was selling cars. And now he's selling cars at stores or it's closed, and he's selling cars down in Drummond Motors down in Campbellford.
Okay.
And he's a head salesman down there.
Great.
He's really doing well. He got 14 last month. And this time of year, the way, the virus and all that going on, you'd be surprised people buying cars.
Yeah.
They got to wear masks all the time, and they got to stay the 6 feet away, and the people go out and try a car out, he can't go with them. So
a little bit of trust.
But no, he doesn't go. He doesn't go with any patient, any person who comes in to buy a vehicle. He doesn't go with any of them. They, well, he knows them and he trusts them, and of course they bought from him before,
And now everybody has to wear a mask, and you never wore a mask playing goalie.
No, I never wore a mask playing goal, and I never wore shoulder pads.
Yeah, that's,
I just wore elbow pads.
That was pretty bold. Now,
and I had a good trapper.
Before we do wrap up, were other goalies wearing masks and shoulder pads?
Yeah, there were. Joe O'Brien wore goalie pad or shoulder pads, and I don't know, the masks really weren't out then.
Yeah.
They come out after I quit playing, except that plastic one, and that only lasted one game.
And the plastic one was tight to your face, or was it?
It was out about that far from the front of your face.
And a full see-through shield?
Yeah, and the puck hit the center and cracked it.
Okay.
But that happened down in Quebec.
What was that attached to? Was there a headband, just like the masks that like?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then Jacques Plante started to make the other mask, which was terrific. But I still never wore a mask.
Okay.
I figured a mask I couldn't see with it.
Yeah. Well, Bob, thank you so much for talking about your life in sports in Peterborough. It's always awesome to be able to hear the stories and be able to learn from people like you. So thank you so much for your time.
You're quite welcome.